Yeah, what's going on, everybody? You have Tone here, and I am here bringing you guys my team builder and battle for the IBL Season 5, week number 11. This week, we are taking on the New York Empoleons, coached by GoldoaDragon. His links and stuff will be in the description down below, as well as all the other coaches in the IBL. So if you guys missed last week, we took on the New York Cosmogs and Phantombass, and came away with a heart-wrenching, well, not really heart-wrenching, but we did end up losing that game 1-0, after getting obliterated by Choice Bandit Kartana. And here we are with our Week 11 matchup, trying to keep our playoff hopes alive, as this is a must-win game for that to happen. So, like I said, we're coming into this with a record of 4-6, and Goldoa is coming in with a record of 6-4. So this is a cross-conference matchup, but at the same time, Goldoa needs to win to essentially lock up his playoff spot. I need to win to keep my playoff hopes alive. That's pretty much long and short of it. This is a must-win for both of us, and it kind of sucks. It has to come down to that. But in any case, let's just run down the matchup here, as my opponent, GoldoaDragon, has access to Ferrothorn, Terrakion, Mega Altaria, Rotom Heat with Z moves, Excelgor, Miltank, Primarina, Cofagrigus, Crocodile, and the Xoctu. And Primarina is his other Zmon. So, first thing I'm noticing, there is like I said, there's a lot of threats on my opponent's side of the field. The one thing that really scares me going into this matchup is 100% the Terrakion, because outside of my Clefable, which is, it's no surprise to most people unaware, I don't really deal with Terrakion all that well on this particular build. Like, I have something like Cyberzo that can take a Stone Edge, but it can't switch it on too close combats. Like, even a defensive, a max HP, max defense Seismitoad struggles with Terrakion trying to switch in on close combats and whatnot. So this game is pretty much going to be coming down to trying to keep up the pressure more or less, and try to wear down a good few amount of try to wear down most of the problematic mons of his team, or his bulkier threats, and try to set up before he sets up on me. And that's pretty much the idea with the team that I'm bringing for this battle. So just to jump right into the matchup here. So the first Pokemon you see here on your screen, we have a Thundurus Therian with Assault Vest, with Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Focus Blast, and Sludge Bomb, with 116 HP, 140 special attack, and max speed. I didn't really need to go max speed. Like, it's only just there for some, on the off chance he decides to bring a Jolly max speed Miltank, which is, like, very, very unlikely. I didn't want to start kicking myself for not being slower than a potential max speed Jolly Miltank. As uncommon as that sounds, again, it's really more or less something that I didn't want to take a chance on. So that's pretty much why I'm max speed timid. And the 140 special attack is really all I needed to 2-hit KO stuff like Mega Altaria. Like, max HP Mega Altaria gets 2-hit KO'd. And the bulk is just there to take hits better from stuff like Mega Altaria. I can take Hyper Voices if he's a special variant. Obviously, if he's physical, it's a little bit more problematic. But Sludge Bomb is mainly just there on my Thundurus, to prevent Mega Altaria from setting up in front of my Thundurus for free. Thunderbolt and Volt Switch, very straightforward for momentum and stab coverage. And Focus Blast is there to hit the Ferrothorn, Miltank, the Crocodile, and that's pretty much it. And I guess it's my strongest move for hitting the Rotom Heat as well. So that's pretty much it for my Thundurus Therian. So moving on, we now have our Mega Gallade here. Once again, bulk up 3 attacks. Like, it's been my go-to set all season since I came back. Except for 1 week when I brought Swords Dance, but that's a different story. But bulk up Mega Gallade is just very, very good. I can't really stress that enough. It's been putting a lot of work for me in this comeback season, I hope. So, yeah, so we have bulk up Drain Punch, Rock Slide, and Poison Jab with 188 HP, 76 attack, and 244 speed with a Jolly Nature. Is enough speed to outspeed non-Scarf Terrakion. And after a bulk up, I can one-shot a max HP, Berry Primarina with Poison Jab. I can deal with Mega Altaria with Poison Jab. Like, outside of the Cofagrigus, just looking at his team and looking at my Mega Gallade, just run down his team. Ferrothorn, Drain Punch, Terrakion, Drain Punch, Mega Altaria, Poison Jab, Rotom Heat, Rock Slide, Accelerator, Rock Slide, Miltank, Drain Punch, Primarina, Poison Jab. Cofag is the main issue here, like I said. Crocodile, Drain Punch, Zoctu, Rock Slide. Aside from Cofag, everything else on his team is hit super effectively by one of these three moves, and if he doesn't bring the Cofag, then I don't see any chance, unless he has a Resist Berry on one of his Mons, that this Mega Gallade is not going to just run train on his team. So, like I said, the attack investment is just there to ensure that after a bulk up, I can one-shot bulk yourself like non-Berry Primarina, Mega Altaria can get blown back by Poison Jab at +1. I knock out Rotom Heat at +1 with Rock Slide. Like, it just does so much work from a matchup standpoint. It just comes down to whittling down or getting rid of the Cofagrigus, if at all. If I'm being perfectly honest here, then this set just goes in on his team. So that's Mega Gallade. Next up is our Clefable here with Lefties, Unaware, Wish, Protect, Moonblast, and Heal Bell. This is just my way of preventing a potential setup Terrakion from 6-0ing me. As I don't, like I said before, Terrakion does do a lot of work against me, and I don't want to get swept by Terrakion. That's the last thing I wanted to happen in this matchup. So this isn't a foolproof way of getting past the Terrakion, but at the same time, though, I don't really have much better options on my team, more or less. So it's very straightforward, max HP, max defense set. This is my way of just trying to prevent Terrakion from sweeping me. There's really much nothing else I could say in that regard. So that is the Clefable. Next up is the Seismitoad with leftovers, Stealth Rock, Scald, Sludge Bomb, and Hidden Power Fire with max HP, 124 defense, 132 special defense with a calm nature. The HP and the special defense investment prevents my Seismitoad from getting 2-KO'd by a modest Hyper Voice from Mega Altaria after rocks, and the HP and the defense investment prevents him from being 1-KO'd by a Jolly Choice Band in close combat from Terrakion after Stealth Rock. So this is another Mega Altaria check to deter that from setting up. It also prevents something like Primarina from coming in for free, even though Earthquake and Earth Power is still there. I didn't really need to run Earth Power in this matchup because outside of the Terrakion, he doesn't have anything else on his team that's weak to ground, so it just freed up an extra move slot for me, and Sludge Bomb was the best choice to put in that move slot, and Hidden Power Fire is there for the Ferrothorn, and I don't really expect it to be Akaberry. If anything, I would more or less expect it to be Rocky Helmet, because as you see, I do have a Cinccino on my team, and it would make more sense to try to wear down my Cinccino, because these last few weeks, Cinccino, in terms of a matchup standpoint, has actually been a problem for some people to deal with, which I actually find pretty funny, seeing that Cinccino is not a Pokemon that you really think of as a threat, much less as a means of trying to blow back an entire squad, but I digress in that regard. So, moving on, we have our Drapion, Pokemon number 5, with Taunt, Toxic Spikes, Knockoff, and Poison Jab, with max HP, 20 attack, and the rest in speed with a Jolly nature. This ensures I outspeed a non-Scarf Crocodile, and everything slower than that. This is mainly my way of ensuring that I can shut down the Cofag and weaken that thing as much as I can with a combination of Taunt and get up a layer of Toxic Spikes if the Zoctu does not come. Like I said, this is one of my ways of wearing down the Cofag. I can taunt it, prevent it from going for Will-O-Wisp, for Pain Split, potential Trick Room, the whole 9 yards, and then knock off just to get rid of items, and Poison Jab is there for the Mega Altaria. And the Primarina, nothing much else to say about that in that regard. And then lastly, we have our Cinccino. We're running Cinccino Choice Banded with Tail Slap, Rock Blast, Knockoff, and U-Turn with max attack, 204 speed, 52 HP with a Jolly nature. This lets me outspeed non-Scarf Terrakion again. Although, I don't really have a way of hitting the Terrakion super effectively. My best bet is to go for Rock Blast and hopefully weaken it down, but the problem with that is it is resisted, so actually my best bet is Tail Slap because it's stronger, it has stab and all that stuff. Knockoff to get rid of items, potential Choice Scarf on Terrakion since it's not a Z-move user, and then U-Turn is there for the momentum I can utilize with that, because I'm feeling as though he will bring that Ferrothorn to try to switch in on my Cinccino, and I'm expecting Iron Barb's Rocky Helmet to come and do its thing, because it's a Cinccino. That's what it does. It slaps things. But in any case, that's going to be the team. Nothing much else to say in that regard. So, without further ado, I'm going to switch right over to the battle and see what happens in the matchup. So, be right back. Alright guys, so here we are with the battle for week 11 of the IBL, and the first thing I noticed on Goldoa's team, there is no Cofagrigus on my opponent's side of this field, and I was completely shocked with the fact that I do not see that there was no Cofag. I have Mega Galay, and I'm just thinking in the back of my mind, oh my god, Mega Galay is going to have so much fun in this matchup. It totally blew my mind, considering that I figured Cofag would be such a instrumental part in deterring Mega Galay from just spamming close combat or Drain Punch, whatever the case may be. But nonetheless, I'm not gonna fault Goldoa for bringing what he bring. He thought he brought the 6th best mon to the matchup. I'm not gonna fault him for that. There's also no Crocodile on his squad either, so whenever my Thundurus comes in, unless it's against Terrakion, I can pretty much Volt Switch for free. There's nothing on his team that prevents me from Volt Switching whatsoever. And other than that, though, there's not really much else to say about this matchup here. Is just trying to read between the lines and just adjust my plan accordingly. Because there's no Cofag on my team, my Drapeon's usage is become very, very limited. Because, like I said, my Drapeon was designed to deal with the Cofag, and now it's pretty much been mitigated to trying to handle the Xatu, if anything. But without further ado, I'm just going to start the battle up here. So what I'm going to be ending up doing is I'm going to lead over my Cinccino. I've pretty much done that most of the times I brought Cinccino. I feel like I had a good matchup in most lead situations when it comes to me bringing Cinccino. Like, if you Scarf Terrakion, then I'm screwed. If he leads off with it, I'm screwed. But he's not to lead off with the Rotom Heat. I still have to be careful though, because this thing can potentially be Choice Scarf. But I want to take a shot in the dark here. I'm going to go for the knockoff here. I'm expecting him to go onto his Ferrothorn, which he is going to do right here. He's going to go onto Caution the Ferrothorn here. I'm going to click knockoff this turn. Get rid of its item. As you see, I take the Iron's Barb's damage. And as I expected, he was indeed Rocky Helmet. So we do get that play right, but unfortunately this does mean he gets up free Stealth Rock this turn. So I'm going to go out into my Thundurus, as he just goes for the Stealth Rock here, which was essentially free at this point. There was no way I'm going to stay in against the Ferrothorn, just clicking knockoff with no drawback and whatnot. So now it's going to make us play back into his Rotom Heat as I click Focus Blast. We are going to connect, so we keep up our streak from last week. We're now 3 for 3 on Focus Blast. So that's a good chunk here, and we're going to go for another Focus Blast. We hit another Focus Blast, so we're 4 for 4. I'm not wide lens or anything like that. And then he reveals Light Screen, and I'm like, okay, I see where this is going. This is not good whatsoever. So I go for another Focus Blast, and I hit another one. And I get a crit too, which is even funnier. Which would have helped me before he got that Light Screen, because now he's going to go into a Terrakion, and I'm like, oh man, I know where this is going. So now I'm going to go out into my Clefable here. That's my dedicated response to Terrakion, and he is going to go for the Rock Polish. I'm like, yep, it's going to be that type of battle here. So it's basically going to be a battle of not really a battle of attrition here, but more of a battle of, I didn't get up Toxic Spike, so I have to do what I can to make sure the Terrakion does not screw me over. So now I'm going to overprotect here to get myself back to full. He's going to go for the Poison Jab, and I believe I go for Wish this turn, because I think the best thing I was trying to do here was try to stall out the Light Screen, and that does a crap ton of damage, even though I am max defensive, and that explains why, because he was Life Orb, And it turned out after the game that it reveals he was also adamant life orb. So yeah, that was going to do a chunk and a half to any Clefable set. So now I got my wish up. I'm going to go for Protect here, get myself back to a reasonable amount of HP. He makes a good play, goes for the Sword Stance here, because he knows that once my Clefable is gone, there's nothing on my team that wants to take a Poison Jab or a close combat, because yeah, his last move had to be close combat, or else he wasn't doing much to a Bronzong. So he's gonna go for Poison Jab here. He's not going to kill my Clefable here. I decide, instead of trying to get cheeky here, I'm just gonna get some damage off and go for Moonblast here, which is actually going to kind of suck, because after the Lefty's recovery, my Clefable is actually going to drop to poison damage. So that kill goes to Terrakion, and I'm like, oh wait, I don't have anything that can take a +2 hit anymore. I have to go out into my Gallade. I think I'm screwed. I really think I'm screwed. So I'm going to Mega Evolve here. I'm going to click Drain Punch. I don't have any other play. If this thing kills me, then I'm going to lose. That is pretty much the long and short of it. So he's going to close combat me. I'm going to get destroyed. And we live on 1 HP. I don't know why my Mega Gallade is deciding to live all these crazy +2 hits, but essentially, I just prevented a 6-0, well, a 5-0, but anyway, the Terrakion is down, and my Mega Gallade is coming out superior in the matchup. So in comes the Excelgor here, and my play, I'm just gonna go out into my Thundurus. I'm still kind of like riding a high here after that, after Gallade lived on 1. So he's gonna click Bug Buzz here. Not going to do much damage in that regard. And I am going to click Volt Switch. I believe I click Volt Switch this turn. I'm not entirely sure here, as he is going to go out into his Ferrothorn. Yeah, so I'm going to Volt Switch. I'm going to go right back out into my Gallade, because I need to get my Gallade back up to a good amount of HP here. So I'm just going to click Drain Punch here, even though I know he still has like 3 fighting resists. Like, I get damage off on something, and I get some HP back in the process. So he's going to go out into his Excelgor. I'm going to Drain Punch, get some good amount of health back. And now I'm not going to go with my Thundurus here. Considering that the its usage has been limited, I'm going to go out into my Drapion this turn, as he's going to go for the final Gambit here, which does make sense considering that Mega Gallade was the biggest threat to his team. So he's going to sack off his Excelgor here. He's not going to kill off my Drapion, which goes to show that he wasn't max HP invested, or else if he was, he would have killed my Drapion for sure. So now he's going to go into his Zoc 2. He's going to click Air Slash and knock out my my Drapion. I didn't outspeed. I didn't bother the speed type Zoc 2 anyway, so I don't get any real information in this regard. So I'm going to go back into my Thundurus here, as now I'm going to click Thunderbolt here. I think it goes back out into his Ferrothorn. And so yeah, I'm just trying to chip. I'm not trying to do any over predictions or anything. I could have just Volt Switch right back into my Gallade, but I didn't want to. So now I go for Focus Blast. I hit another Focus Blast. Like, oh my god, man! Like, I'm 6 for 6 with Focus Blast, man. This is in the last 2 weeks. This is ridiculous. So now back out comes the Zoc 2 here, and he's going to outspeed me. So this is a Choice Scarf Zoc 2 with Side Shock, and I'm like, yep. This is really, really bad, because my Cinccino is not Choice Scarf. My Seismitoad here is the only thing I can take a hit from this Zoc 2 here. I'm going to go for Sludge Bomb here, because it's a no drawback play, and I'm expecting him to go into Primarina. So I get the Sludge Bomb play correct. Get some damage off on that, and that damage is telling me that it's most likely Assault Vest. So now I'm going to go and sack off my Cinccino, because what I want to do is get a free switch into my, my Gallade afterwards, but we live on 1 HP again, and I go for Tail Slap and knock out the Primarina. So yeah, I'm getting a lot of ridiculous rolls in my favor with this matchup, not gonna lie. So now he's going to go back out into his Zoc 2 here, and I'm just gonna sack it off. I know this thing is Choice Scarf. He outspeeds me. He's gonna lock himself into Giga Drain, knock out my Cinccino, and here's choking 101. I go into my Gallade, and I'm like, wait a minute, I think I made a mistake. I'm going to live this Giga Drain here, but the problem is my Gallade isn't invested enough in attack to knock out the Zoc2, as it just barely lives on a sliver of HP. So yeah, that was the wrong play in this situation, as I essentially just choked the game here at the end. Because now he's gonna go, I'm gonna go into my Seismitoad here, he's gonna click Giga Drain, and he's gonna do a tremendous amount of damage to my Seismitoad, and unfortunately the health he gets back puts him out of range of Scald. So yeah, I essentially choked this game, unfortunately, and that is effectively going to eliminate me from playoff contention because of that play. So what I should have done in the end game was the inverse, which was essentially, instead of going out into Gallade on the turn he went for Giga Drain, the play was to go out into Seismitoad. I didn't do any calcs prior to making that play, but the fact that he locked himself in the Giga Drain essentially scared me into going into my Seismitoad. What I should have did, I should have still went to Seismitoad. It lived a hit from Zoc2. And when he went for a Giga Drain, he wouldn't have gained anything back. I would have gotten damage off with Scald. He would then kill Seismitoad with Giga Drain again, but the amount of HP the Zoc2 would have gotten back wouldn't have been enough to take it out of range of Rock Slide from Gallade. So I essentially, by doing that, I would have pretty much won the game 1-0. At the same time, though, even if I did that play correctly, I still could have missed Rock Slide. It's a 10% chance. So yeah, this kind of stung a lot, and I was kicking myself so badly because of that end game. I made a big, crucial mistake in the way I played that end game, and it essentially cost me the game, and more or less, this essentially cost me a spot in the playoffs, because with this loss, I am now officially eliminated from playoff contention with a 4-7 record. Either way, this is nothing to take. I'm not taking anything away from Goldoa. He still played a fantastic game, and he essentially should have won this game a lot earlier with that Terrakion, but my Gallade had other ideas living on 1 HP. Same thing with Cinccino, living on 1 HP. So, yeah, I'm not going to put too much emphasis. I'm not going to think too much about my Week 12 game. It's the last game of the season before the playoffs start. I'm not in the playoffs, so no skin on my back. So pretty much the idea with my Week 12 game against Ultraplayer and the New York Metagross is to essentially try to ensure that Mega Gallade ends the season as the kill leader, because it now has 21 kills. I've never had a Pokemon with more than 18 kills, and surprisingly enough, the Pokemon I got 18 kills with was Thunderasterian, so that's a kind of an ironic moment in that regard. That all being out of the way, that all said and done, I hope you guys did enjoy the battle nonetheless. If you did, feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Also be sure to check out Goldoa's side, because I know he is going to be, his side is going to be a lot more hectic, I'm pretty sure. Especially with the Mega Gallade living on 1 HP. Imagine my surprise when I thought that I lost 5-0 earlier on. But anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy. Feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until the next time, guys, this is Tone, signing out for now. Peace out.